Welcome to the MLB Closing Time Show for Monday, June 28th. Ian Cameron, Conor Mac, Skee Profit, ready to break down the Monday MLB card. We've got a bigger slate than we get to it. We start with a couple games that are late afternoon / early evening games, I guess you could say. We'll start in Denver at Coors Field with the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Colorado Rockies. We got a battle of lefties here in this game today. Tyler Anderson and Kyle Freeland, the pitching matchup. Colorado favorites here, minus 120. Home favorites, 11.5 the total in this game. Colorado is back home, which means they're back in the one place you can bet on them right now, which is at Coors Field with that 25-16 home record, actually. 9 games above 500 for this Rockies team. They'll send Kyle Freeland to the mound here for this matchup for the Rockies. Not a good season for him, 7.76 ERA, 9.22 his last 3, 10 ERA at Coors Field this year for Kyle Freeland. It just hasn't been very good. And you know what? This Pirates team, 8 runs, 5 runs, 7 runs in 3 of their last 4 games. They're hitting 289 and 6.75 runs per game against lefties as of late. I think they can do some damage here. Tyler Anderson, of course, former Rocky, is on the mound here for the Pittsburgh Pirates today, so they should have a good idea of what to expect. A lot of these hitters like Blackman, Story, guys that have been here a while, they know what to expect from Tyler Anderson, a former member of this team. Anderson has kind of trended in the wrong direction the last few starts. He struggled a bit more. He gave up 3 runs, 5 hits in his last start, 6 runs against the Nationals in the start before that. And his road ERA, not very good, 6.06 ERA away from home for Tyler Anderson this year. And interestingly enough, the over has trended 6-1 in his last 7 starts. High number. I'm interested in the over. I don't know if I'll pull the trigger. We are talking 11.5. It's a very, very high number, but it's high for a reason. It's over or pass for me in this Pittsburgh-Colorado game. Skee, what do you think, Pirates and Rockies?
Kyle Freeland, I'm not that big on him. I know he's looked worse at home, and I know it's at Coors, so I can understand why. But I think I still have to look towards the Rockies at home. Tyler Anderson, he's untrustworthy, and the Pirates in general, 13-26 on the road. If you look at them as a road underdog, that's going to be there every time they're on the road. They're an underdog. But the Rockies, we know they're not good on the road, but at home they've been pretty decent. And especially when they're a home favorite, I have them as 8-3 on the year. And so I think Pirates bullpen has been a little bit better as of late than the Rockies bullpen, but in general, neither are good. So I lean Rockies. I don't have that much confidence in Freeland, but the bullpen, hasn't been great. So I lean Rockies, first 5 or full game, whichever way you want to take them. That's how I would play it.
All right, lean into the Rockies, and yeah, I agree. I mean, the Rockies are one of those teams, if you're going to back them at home, the price is reasonable. And again, the knowledge that the Rockies have of Tyler Anderson, I think that's going to make a big difference here, potentially in this game. It's just a question of, can Freeland do anything good? And it's been just a dreadful season for him. What do you think here, Conor Mac, Pirates, Rockies?
Yeah, we'll see with Anderson. Freeland's ERA is just so bad at Coors. I mean, both pitchers I want nothing to do with. The Rockies just couldn't score a run yesterday. We talked it in the back. I just couldn't believe it. They probably score 8 today. I'd lean over a little bit. There's some scattered showers there, but I think the game's going to get played. But yeah, I'd lean over in this one. I'm going to stay off the side. Rockies as favorites. This is where they win, is at home. But I don't want to lay minus 20 with Freeland here.
All right, next up, we've got Philadelphia, Cincinnati, Spencer Howard taking on Wade Miley in this game. We've got Cincinnati in the minus 145, minus 150 range right now as home favorites. The total in this game currently close to, it looks like the total in this one right now, 9.5, pretty much across the board. That's a pretty high total for Philly right now with the way the Phillies bats have been kind of cold lately. 2-2, they had that crazy 13-12 game against Washington, but if you throw that out, they've scored 2 runs, 1 run, 2 runs, 3 runs, 4 runs in their recent games. So it's not a great lineup at the moment. Reds get shut out yesterday by the Braves 4-0. Kind of surprising to see that. Spencer Howard is going to be the pitcher here for the Philadelphia Phillies. Not sure I necessarily trust him by any stretch of the imagination. On the flip side, you've got Wade Miley, who just continues to be pretty rock solid for the Reds all season long. He's had a nice year for this Reds rotation. He has given up 2 runs or less, Wade Miley, in 5 of his last 6 starts. Been very consistent. The Reds on a 4-1 run in his last 5 starts. They've won with him on the mound this year. I think I like the Reds here, first 5, minus a half a run. Minus 110. I think even money. I think that's the way I would probably play it here in this game. Connor, we'll start with you here. Phillies and Reds.
Yeah, Wade Miley's been one guy I've backed this year with when he's on the mound with the Reds. The price is a little high. I got to think they hit today off Howard, getting shut out yesterday. The Reds have been now up and down. They had a break, huge streak of scoring a ton of runs, and now the bats have gone cold a little bit. I just don't trust the Phillies, and I definitely don't want Howard on the road. So I lean the Reds here. I just don't know if I want to play him first 5 half a run or full game. I don't know if I want to go with the bullpen. And that's it in this one. Looks like a good day. The wind's pretty few miles blowing in, 87 degrees. There should be some runs here.
All right, liking some runs as well with the over 9.5. What do you think, Skee, with Phillies and Reds?
Yeah, I forgot on the last game. I did want to mention I prefer the Rockies first 5 because I know the Pirates 3-14-1. Their last 18 first 5s on the road, so we'll want to fade that for sure. Phillies, another team that's not good on the road, 15-25, and I don't really trust Spencer Howard that much. I mean, I look at his numbers; they don't look too bad, but just when I watch him, I don't know. I don't feel like he's that good. And Wade Miley, like you said, 4-0-1. His last 5 starts on the first 5 innings. I think that's a guy that we can get behind. The Reds bullpen has been better, but I think we can isolate just backing Miley here and going against Howard. So I agree with you, Ian. I like the Reds first 5, minus half a run.
All right, we got the Angels and the Yankees next up. We got Dylan Bundy and Michael King, your pitching matchup here. Yanks right now minus 150. Home favorites 10.5 the total in this game. And you have to factor in Dylan Bundy spent much of his career in Baltimore, so very familiar for most of these Yankees. And you look at some of the numbers in the past. He's actually kept Judge relatively quiet in the past. Stanton as well, believe it or not, but there are a couple Yankees that have hit Bundy pretty well. Frazier, Andujar, Voit, Sanchez. They're the ones that stick out in that mix in terms of guys that have done pretty good damage against him in the past. Michael King, just not really someone that has gotten comfortable, in my opinion, as a starting pitcher. Been pretty effective in a relief role at times for the Yankees, but it's not necessarily been smooth sailing for him in this kind of spot for the New York Yankees in terms of starting pitching. You look at King's numbers overall, nothing great, nothing to write home about whatsoever. I think both teams could probably score some runs here. Now, the Yankees, we know their lineup can be, Eduardo Rodriguez went a few innings shutting them down yesterday, which is hard to fathom. So, you're talking about a lineup that's not always trustworthy, but you are looking at 2 pitchers I don't trust here. You're looking at a wind environment where you're going to see a wind blowing out to left field, a very, very muggy, humid night. Keep an eye on this, by the way. A lot of these situations here in terms of these Northeast venues, I mean, you're going to have the wind blowing out. You're going to have a lot of heat, and I think you're going to see it play out that way here going into this game tonight here with the Angels-Yankees. Muggy night, wind blowing out, 2 suspect pitchers. I could only look over the total. And the betting markets kind of agree. I mean, 9.5, now it's up to 10.5 now. So betting markets think there are going to be runs tonight. I probably would have to agree with them. Connor, what do you think here? Angels, Yankees.
Wow, 2 of not my favorite guys are on the mound. My guy Al Bundy, Dylan Bundy, and Michael King. I don't want King ever starting. Like you said, he's been better in the relief role, but not as a starter. The Yankees, watching them was pitiful yesterday. And then Gleyber Torres throwing the ball around. He made 2 or 3 errors. The at-bats were pathetic. I want nothing to do with the Yankees as a favorite. I look at the Angels here at plus money. You got to back Bundy. Maybe a first 5, not deal with the Angels bullpen. As you see, they gave it up yesterday, but ended up winning. I lean the team total over 4.5 minus 105, or take the Angels here plus money, first 5.
All right. Skee Profit, what do you think here, Angels, Yankees?
Well, for one, Dylan Bundy, I remember, Yankees used to smack him around when he was on the Orioles.
They got good numbers. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I know I'm not tripping. That's just off my memory. Like, I don't have any numbers on it, but I know he still hasn't been good this year. He's been a guy that I look to fade, and I'm not that confident in Michael King either, but I think I trust Dylan Bundy a little bit less. So I would lean towards the Yankees here, but I think more so I like runs. Neither bullpen has been great lately, and whether it's first 5 over, full game over, I think I would expect runs here.
All right, next up, we've got the New York Mets, Washington Nationals. We've got Jared Eichhoff against, actually, we don't know who's in for Washington, so we won't stay too long on this game. But again, another warm night, wind blowing out. These just aren't generally conditions across the board tonight. I'm looking to bet unders. New York, Boston, we'll get to them in a second. Another hot night, wind blowing out. I mean, it's one of those nights where there's favorable conditions for runs in some of these Northeast venues. So, the word is that we might see Paolo Espino be the spot starter tonight for Washington. Hasn't been confirmed, but if it's him, he's been pretty good. 2.35 ERA. So maybe I'd lean Washington there in that game, but nothing really strong. We'll probably skip that because we don't know the Mets or the Washington starter as of yet. Kansas City, Boston, Duffy and Richards, the pitching matchup here. Boston, minus 150, home favorites, 10. And now this has gone up all the way to 11 now, pretty much across the board. So there we go. Another humid night, wind blowing out, just like we talked about in the 2 games in New York. And the betting markets are betting this total just like you would expect with weather conditions like this. Danny Duffy on the mound here for the Kansas City Royals. Of course, he had just come back from a stint on the IL. He had a forearm flexor strain. He returned last Wednesday against the Yankees. He only pitched 2 innings, 2 scoreless innings, but then he pitched out of the bullpen, after that. So I worry about Duffy's rhythm here because they had him pitch 2 innings in his first start back. Then he was in a relief role a couple days later against Texas over the weekend. So I'm like thinking to myself, what are they doing here? And now they're going to pitch him basically 2 days after a relief stint, following 2 days after his first start, which only went 2 innings. So I really get concerned here, to be honest with you, about just the rhythm. How pitchers are. They're a creature of habit. So I don't know if Duffy's going to be sharp tonight. I don't necessarily trust him right now. Boston is crushing the ball, too. That's especially against lefties. That's another thing that concerns me. Garrett Richards on the other side, I don't trust him much. The Royals, I think, have the capabilities to do some damage against him. You look at Carlos Santana's had success against him in the past. Some guys against Duffy, by the way, Marwin Gonzalez, Rafael Devers have definitely had a good amount of success taking on Danny Duffy in the past. So I think you're going to see runs here in this game. But again, the betting markets have kind of beaten you to the punch because this total was 10. It's now 11. The full run that we've seen this total move up. So you're losing some value. But this is another game. It's over or pass for me. What do you think here, C-Mac?
Yeah, I think you got to lean over. This is a spot, maybe a month ago, I'd like to take the Royals with Duffy, but not here. How is he going to go? Maybe 2-3 innings, like you said. This weird start he's going to get. I just don't want Richards, though. No way do I want Richards minus 150. So, yeah, I think the values with the Royals, I lean over. I kind of looked at the team total, but the Royals over 4.5, who haven't been hitting, is minus 130. And the Sox over 5.5 is minus 115. Don't love that either. Maybe I'd go with that more than the minus 150 with Richards, but it's a game I'm off.
All right. What do you think, Skee, with Royals Red Sox?
Well, it's tough for me to even – I agree with Connor that I don't want Garrett Richards at all. Looking at his starts, I don't think he's – let me see. He hasn't won any of his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He hasn't won any of his last 6 starts as far as the first 5 innings.
The juice on the ball.
He needs that sticky stuff. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, he needs that sticky stuff. He's crying about it.
Okay. I know we have another guy on the card today who needs that too, but yeah, I agree with you. I don't want to back Richards really, but Duffy, I mean, he came back off of an injury, right? Only went 2 innings, and before that, he was kind of getting smacked up. So don't have a lot of faith in them. I look at the Royals lately. Their last what is it? Their last 4 games, they're not hitting. They've only scored 5 runs. And I always talk about, like, I want to continue to fade teams that are losing. They've lost 5 in a row. I don't have a lot of confidence to back this Royals team. So I will lean towards the Red Sox. If I want to look at, I know their bullpen is not great in general, but if I want to look at how they've been lately, I mean, over the last 5 days, 2.27, last 10, 2.94. So bullpen has been solid for the Red Sox as of late, and it's been the opposite for the Royals. Last 5, they have a 7.36 ERA, and if you want to go last 10, about a 6 ERA. So I would lean Red Sox full game. Maybe it's a game where you can in play to see how Richards is looking to start, but no way I'm backing the Royals.
Yeah, that's hard. I mean, that's why from a side perspective, it's difficult. Boston's in great form. It is a slight letdown after the Yankees series. I always worry about when you play after, first game after playing the Yankees. But Kansas City has been that series against Texas was dreadful for them. You can't sugarcoat how bad they were in that series. There were some bad pitchers on the mound. They couldn't hit them. Their pitching stunk. I mean, that whole series for Kansas City was brutal. Against Texas. So they're not in the form I trust for them right now. Detroit, Cleveland, Matt Manning, Eli Morgan, the pitching matchup here. Cleveland minus 155, home favorites, 9.5 the total here in this game. Guess what? I'm on Detroit here, first 5 in full game. I have to at this price. Eli Morgan shouldn't be laying this price. This guy's terrible. He shouldn't even be in this rotation, all right? No way. I mean, it's just terrible. All right, there you go, Big Show. Yes. Go Tigers tonight. This is insane. I mean, Eli Morgan has given up 13 runs in a little over 11 innings of work this season. That's terrible. And now this guy's going to lay this kind of price here against the Detroit team. Look, they're a scrappy little ball club right now, this Detroit Tigers team. Look at the way they played Houston over the weekend. I thought they battled. Nice little effort in that series. They lost 3-2. They won 2-1 yesterday in the series finale. I like the way they battled. They beat St. Louis back-to-back games. They beat the Angels 5-3. And I went against Eli Morgan, in his last start as well for this Cleveland team. And because we bet the team total over. Cubs, it was, in his last start. And the team total over got there for the Chicago Cubs in that game. Eli Morgan's just been a bet against now for a few starts in a row now for me. And I've got no qualms, no issues whatsoever taking a nice plus price here with Matt Manning and the Tigers. Look, Matt Manning's coming off his best start. I thought it was his best start of the season, a young kid for the Tigers. 2 runs, 5.2 innings against St. Louis. They won that game 6-2, 3.38 ERA, decent. So, Manning's showing you a little bit that he's, improving as he goes here. So that's a lot more than I can say for Eli Morgan. Yeah, and by the way, this Cleveland team, they lost the last 2 games against Minnesota, 8-7 and 8-2. Overall, this team is just 3-5 in their last 8 games. They have a losing record, 3-5 their last 8 games. And now all of a sudden, here they are laying this price with a bad pitcher. So sign me up for Detroit here. Live dog, I think, first 5 innings and full game. Conor Mac, what do you think here, Detroit, Cleveland?
I agree. When I was looking at this morning, I thought the Tigers, the dog of the day for me. This Indians team with Morgan on the mound, minus 160. I couldn't believe it. You talked about Manning going 5 2/3 against the Cardinals his last start. Even the start before that, when I watched his start against the Angels, he pitched well. He gave up 4 hits, a couple runs. As long as he doesn't walk people, he can be effective. So I think he can do that today. But also with these 2 shitty pitchers, the Tigers might get back to some overs here. I think this game could get over 9.5 with these 2 pitchers on the mound as well.
Yeah, it's possible. You're talking to 82 degrees again, warm air, not quite the wind blowing out like it is in New York and in Boston, but still, I don't hate the over in this game. It's just a question of what do you get from Manning. Manning still, he's a work in progress, but even a work in progress Manning, like I said, at this price is something I can get behind than Eli Morgan, who's just been absolutely dreadful from day one in this rotation. Skee, what do you think here with the Tigers and the Indians?
Yeah, maybe it's a little recency bias, but damn, Indians looked bad yesterday. Like, it's hard for me to look towards them. They've been good as a home favorite, 15-6. When they're in this price range, I looked at a -172 to -142. They're 13-1. So supposed to be a row where they're good, but man, Eli Morgan, he's getting smacked. I mean, what is it? Let me look up. A little bit over 11 innings pitched, gave up 13 runs. That's not a guy that I want to get behind. And Manning, he's looked pretty solid. He's went a little bit over 10 innings, only gave up 4. So I like seeing that from the Tiger side. I feel like their bullpen has been a little bit better than the Indians as of late. If you want numbers to put to what I'm saying, last 5 days, let's see, Indians 6.12 ERA, Tigers 3.64. So I guess I would lean more towards the plus money here. It's just really hard for me to back the Indians, how they've been looking lately and at this high price. So I guess I'll have a slight lean towards the Tigers here.
All right, slight lean toward the Tigers in this one. Next up, we got Minnesota and the White Sox. Kenta Maeda, Lucas Giolito, the pitching matchup. We got the White Sox here, minus 130. Home favorites, 8.5 the total in this game. Odds makers starting to adjust to this little swoon for the White Sox. They're just 2-7 in their last 9 games, although they did salvage the finale against Seattle yesterday, winning 7-5. But now you're getting a little bit of a discount for them going into this outing. And I know they have some injuries. We get it in their lineup. Adam Eaton, Nick Madrigal, Eloy Jimenez, of course, has been out forever. And now Jose Abreu questionable tonight with a knee injury. So this lineup is a little depleted right now. You got Giolito, 3.5 ERA in his last 3 starts, 3.35 ERA at home this year. They're only 3-5. The White Sox in Giolito's 8 home starts. On the flip side, you got Maeda, 5.02 ERA overall, 5.63 ERA on the road. He has pitched a little better lately, 3.77 ERA. Still not Kenta of last year yet, but there has been some improvement from Kenta Maeda in the short term. We'll see how he goes here against this White Sox team. You look at the past numbers, though, for the Twins against Giolito, Kepler, and Cruz, really the only guys that have done damage, but they have done significant home run damage. And, Cruz and Kepler stand out as potential Jack of the Day candidates for me in this one. Maeda on the flip side, you see Grandal's hit him pretty hard. There's a couple others as well. But right now I'm in this game. I think a discount on the White Sox. I don't know if I'll back them, though, because, look, the Twins are, playing a little bit better the last few games. We've seen them pick it up a little bit. And we lost with I had the over yesterday as a best bet, but I also had some Cleveland yesterday, and they didn't get the job done. And we got to pay some respect to Minnesota. They are a team that's 7-2 in their last 9 games, which is the polar opposite of Chicago, 2-7 in their last 9 games. So it's a discount on the White Sox. I think Giolito's a little bit better than Maeda. I lean White Sox, but I can't say I feel strongly about it. So that's where I am. I don't even know if I'll bet. It's just a lean right now for me with this White Sox team, but nothing I'm overly strong about. What I am strong about is maybe looking at Cruz and Kepler there, those home run props for the Twins against Giolito. That's some significant damage with the long ball from both Nelson Cruz and Max Kepler in the past against Lucas Giolito. What do you think here, Conor Mac, Twins, White Sox?
Yeah, difficult one. I just don't like backing the White Sox right now. They just haven't been in great form, like you mentioned. And Giolito's been up and down all year, 5-5. He hasn't looked really well. Maeda's pitched a little bit better his last few starts, but only going 4 innings. He gave up 3 earned. The other start, he gave up 1. I just don't love either side here. Maybe look to team total in this one, or even the game over 8. As you mentioned, Cruz and Kepler hit, and the White Sox have had some success off Maeda. Maybe their bats get going. They scored a few in yesterday's game, but maybe lean over. But I'm going to probably stay off this game.
All right, going to stay off this game, Conor Mac. Skee, what do you think here, Chicago, Minnesota?
Yeah, I'm not a big Maeda guy. Like, I never really been big on him, even when he was with the Dodgers. And I know he's looked a little bit better his last couple starts, but I'm still not a believer. And I agree, the White Sox, they've kind of been letting everybody down who's continued to back them. But I think I still would have to support Giolito here over Maeda. I look at the last time Giolito faced the Twins. He went like 8 innings, only gave up 1 run. Maeda got smacked for, I think, 3 runs his last time out versus the White Sox in about 5 innings or less, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So I would lean towards the White Sox on the first 5. I think that I want to avoid the way their bullpen has looked as of late, and just back Giolito and fade Maeda. So White Sox first 5 would be my lick in this game.
All right, White Sox first 5 innings favoring Giolito in this one for Skee. All right, next up we've got the Milwaukee Brewers and the Chicago Cubs at Miller Park. We've got Hendricks and Peralta, the pitching matchup here. Brewers minus 140, home favorites, 7.5 the total in this game. Not a whole lot of games I like to be lower scoring and unders today, but this is one of them. I could see this one being a lower scoring game. We talk about the Cubs, not very good at the plate right now. They didn't hit a lick for the most part against the Dodgers over the weekend, which is nothing to be excited about. And now they're facing let's be honest, one of the better pitchers going right now. Freddie Peralta has just been dynamite. 2.11 ERA this season, 1.62 ERA at home. Opposing hitters are just hitting 134 batting average against Peralta. It's been a strikeout machine. Cubs aren't hitting right now. I think he'll pitch well tonight once again against this Cubs team. You look at in the past, he's done a pretty good job shutting down this Brewers team, this Cubs lineup as well, Freddie Peralta. However, on the flip side, Kyle Hendricks has gotten better and better and better as this season's gone. Remember, it was a pretty ugly start to the season for Kyle Hendricks, but boy, he has been a lot better lately, no doubt about that. And I think it's going to be a situation where he can continue to improve and have another good outing here in this one for the Chicago Cubs. Because Milwaukee, to be honest with you, their lineup has hit at times, but they haven't always hit against good pitching. Hendricks has progressed. He's now 2.37 ERA this month of June. On 5-0 record. So you got 2 red hot pitchers right now. So to me, this looks like a first 5 under, maybe even a double up and go full game under as well, because the Cubs bullpen is pretty decent. So is Milwaukee's. You got 2 of the there's not many trustworthy bullpens in baseball right now, but this is definitely a little bit 2 more trustworthy bullpens, these 2 teams, compared to a lot of the other teams in the big leagues right now. So Cubs and Brewers first 5 under and the full game under. I think I would go with both of those here, and this one should be a lower scoring pitchers duel. 2 pitchers in just a sizzling form right now. Conor Mac, what do you think here? Cubs Brewers.
Yeah, this is one I took last night with a 4, and I had a feeling we see a 3.5, and we do here with the first 5. I still kind of like it with the 3.5. Man, Hendricks 7-0 his last 7 starts, 2.54 ERA. He's been great on the road too. He's been phenomenal, and Peralta's been great all year long, especially at home. Was good last time out against the D-backs. Yeah, I lean under here. Maybe the Brewers first 5. Can they scratch a run or 2 across? Maybe. Lean that way a little bit too. But yeah, I'm on the under.
All right, Conor Mac liking the under here in this one. And by the way, for the Brewers, Kane's already been out for a long time. Vogelbach's out, and Colton Wong doubtful as well. So they're down to Yelich and not much else. This Brewers lineup.
Yeah,
and
he ain't doing much either.
Yeah, and Anthony Rizzo's got a back issue, so he may not be in the Cubs lineup tonight either. So just adding more fuel to that under fire that we're stoking here in terms of this game tonight between the Cubs and Brewers. Skee, what do you think here, Chicago, Milwaukee?
Yeah, you guys, I agree with you guys on the total. Both really good pitchers. Looking at Hendricks, I think he's won 9 of his last 10 first 5. So that's a guy you don't want to really go against. But, both bullpen solid too, like you said, Ian. I think if I had to take one, I would take the Brewers bullpen. And so for that reason, I think I'll lean for the Brewers for the game. Not my strongest play here, but I think I like the under with you guys. You guys just gave all the reasons. I don't need to repeat it. So under and lean Brewers if I had to play it.
All right, under and a lean to the Brewers. Baltimore and Houston. Tommy Eshelman against Zach Greinke on the mound here. Houston minus 310. Greinke, don't lose that fastball. Total 9.5 here in this one. when you look at this game, obviously Houston's just a firecracker right now. They've been excellent. So is Greinke, actually. Greinke's had a pretty nice season for this Astros team, but I'm certainly not in a rush to lay the price here with Greinke and the Astros. I'm very interested in the Astros team total, though. I think it can get there in this one. Team total is 5.5. You're seeing that with the Astros a lot lately, 5.5 in terms of their team total, but rightfully so. They've been on fire at the plate of late. They did get cooled off, I guess, a little by Detroit over the weekend. They scored 3 and 1 run in the last 2 games against in that series. But you're going up here against this is the epitome of a fringe arm, a journeyman pitcher. That's exactly what Eshelman is for the Mets. I mean, he's been around the block. He's not necessarily one I have great confidence and faith in. And by the way, the Astros just saw him 5 days ago, and they absolutely destroyed him. 6 runs, 8 hits, 4 innings. Now they get to feast on him again. He showed me no ability to shut down this Astros lineup. I don't think he's that good to begin with. I know he was decent in his first start against the Jays, but they started to figure him out in the second and third time through the lineup. And then that's when they had some better swings, better approach. But to me, this is just go ahead with it. Houston team total over. I know they didn't hit the last 2 games against Detroit, but against Eshelman, they just smacked them for 6 runs the last time out. They won that game 13-0, by the way. They absolutely pounded Baltimore in that game. So just asking Houston to get 6 runs against a below-average starter, I think that can be done. So I'm on the Astros team total here, over 5.5. Conor Mac, what do you think? Orioles, Astros.
Yep, Eshelman just got ripped by them last week, and now you see him again. I see more runs here. Greinke, man, but minus 320. You got to, lay the premium here if you want the Stros. Maybe look alternate line even. The number's getting so big. Even the run line, minus 170, no value. I like your team total. I just don't love laying the juice. It's around minus 130. Maybe the Orioles can hit a little bit. They can't win. I'd like to take the Orioles maybe here first 5. They've just been so bad on the road. They've been a little better at home. They can win a few games at home. On the road, they can't win ball games. But I like the plus money. I just couldn't pull the trigger on them first 5. But this 9.5 got me interested. Maybe over full game here.
I'll say this to you and anybody that's out there, and I'm with you. Obviously, minus 310, minus 320. You don't want to lay that. But why lay minus 310, minus 320 on Houston when you can lay minus 130 on their team total over 5.5? Because I don't think if they win this game, they're being held to less than 6 runs. I think they're getting at least 6 runs. You've got a pitcher they just torched, Eshelman. You have a Baltimore bullpen that has a 6.60 ERA in their last 10 games. So do you trust that Orioles bullpen? They're probably going to come in early because this guy's not going to pitch deep. Do you trust them to shut the door against this potent Astros lineup? No. To me, if Houston wins this game, I see very little chance they win this game and get held to less than 6 runs. So to me, if you like Houston like I do,
it's better than the run line.
Look, minus 130 on the team total over 5.5 or run line, but even the team total 5.5, you don't have to worry one bit what the Orioles do against Zach Greinke. I think that's terrific value if you ask me with that team total when you compare it to that money line option with the Houston side. Skee, what do you think here? Baltimore, Houston.
We kind of just saw this, and it seems like Houston can put up whatever number they want. For one, before I forget, I don't have the exact numbers, but I know in games that you expect Houston to win, you should just take the run line because they're covering that 1.5 at a crazy rate. And if you combine that with the Orioles, when you expect them to lose, they usually lose by 2 or more. So I understand why the run line is juiced the way it is. And I'm not a big fan of 5.5 on team totals, but I think that might be the way you have to go. They lit him up for 6 the last time that they played. What was it, like close to a week ago, and about 4 innings. So I think Astros can name their number. They could very well get the full game over by themselves. But, I see a lot of baseball games where teams go up 5 or 6 runs, and then they just kind of chill out. Like both teams kind of figure the game is over or something. You know what I'm saying? Like I saw that with the Blue Jays. They get up, what is it, 7-0, and then we don't see any more runs. So I agree with you. The team total may be the safer play. And so that's probably how I rock. And I did forget to mention, too, on the Cubs game, Cubs are, I think, 16-23 on the road. So that's another reason to like the Brewers there.
Yeah, I know Hendricks. Yeah, I agree. Hendricks is pitching great. That's why I like the under there. I don't like either side. It's a lot to be laying with Milwaukee, but Chicago's just not showing me enough on the road to want to back them. They've just not been their offense has been putrid too on the road, and now they got to face a really good pitcher in Peralta, who's actually shut them down in the past. Arizona and St. Louis. Next game on the card, we've got Jake Faria for Arizona. Wade, is that true? Am I seeing things? No, that is. Wow, that is Wade LeBlanc, the old veteran. Soft tossing left, back in the starting role again for the Cardinals. St. Louis minus 165, home favorites, 9 the total. I'm not surprised anybody that I see now starting a game in major leagues these days. Starting pitching, it's a dearth of talent, I think, across the board. I mean, you look at Chichi Gonzalez's and this Shelby Miller just got a contract with somebody a couple of days ago. Shelby Miller could be in a major league rotation again.
Was he on the Diamondbacks?
He was Arizona, Atlanta, St. Louis for a little bit.
I know that guy. I know that guy very well.
Yeah. I'm licking my chops. We're getting ready to fade him. I see that name on a betting rotation in the not too distant future, hopefully. But nevertheless, that's the way I kind of feel about LeBlanc here for St. Louis. I mean, this guy's been around the block. I mean, he's got to be one of those guys. He's got to be pinpoint precise with his location, because when he's not, he gets absolutely destroyed. If he misses his spots and he misses his location, he's just going to get hit. Simple as that. The thing that does concern me here for this St. Louis team and for Wade LeBlanc right now is the Arizona Cardinals, Arizona Diamondbacks. They're starting to wake up their bats. I mean, you're starting to see some offense from them. I like their approach against San Diego. Look, they scored 19 runs in the 3-game series against the San Diego Padres. So that's an average of, nearly 5 runs per game, or over 5 runs per game, I should say, in that 3-game series, over 6 runs per game in that 3-game series on average. So, this Diamondbacks team is starting, they finally won on the road. I don't know if I want to go out on a limb and say they're going to start winning road games here. But I'm interested a little in Arizona here, first 5 in full game a little bit, and their team total as well, which is sitting at around 3.5 here, minus 125. I think we could get a team total over. And look, I cashed the team total over with Arizona yesterday. It was 2.5, even against Darvish. I said they could do some damage here a little bit. And sure enough, they did. I think the Arizona team totals, keep an eye on this. They might be about to go on a run in terms of cashing some team total overs, because I see some light at the end of the tunnel for this team with their lineup. David Peralta, Ketel Marte. I know he's still banged up.
They hit lefties too.
Yeah, and they hit lefties extremely well. No question about that. Overall for the season, better against lefties, but the last 10 games, 333 team batting average against lefties in their last 10 games, and 7.9 runs per game for this Arizona team against lefties. And now you got Wade LeBlanc out of the bullpen to make this first start because John Gant is injured. So that's exactly why Wade LeBlanc's in the rotation. Question is, what do you get from Faria? He's there's 2 starters that he's trying to fill some spots behind. He's been a guy that's been kind of up and down. He had a 5.65 ERA and 7 starts against AAA Salt Lake. But guess what? For as much as I don't love the numbers for Faria and AAA and don't necessarily trust him, I trust this Cardinals lineup right now probably less than I trust Jake Faria. I mean, this team's just terrible at the plate. 0, 2, 2, 2, 4, 3, 2. That's been the runs for St. Louis their last 8 games. That's not going to cut it. They're not hitting. This team collectively right now, this St. Louis team is just not hitting the ball. They do not have a good plate approach at the moment. That's hurting them big time. So this is one of those spots, guys. I'm thinking of 3-way methods to back this Arizona team. First 5, full game. And I think I like the team total more than anything. Over 3.5, minus 125. Then I don't have to worry about Faria versus the Cardinals lineup in case he struggles. Focus on the fact that Arizona's lineup is starting to hit. They mash lefties, and this is not a lefty I trust in Wade LeBlanc for the Cardinals. So I like the team total over 3.5 for Arizona, and I'll lean a little bit smaller bets for Arizona first 5 and full game on the money line here. Connor, what do you think? Diamondbacks, Cardinals.
Yeah, The Cardinals just can't hit a lick, like you said. And Wade LeBlanc, minus 160. No way. We've been on it, like you said, the team total, how good they hit lefties. I'm on that over 3.5. Faria, I don't know what we're going to get, though. I don't know. I mean, he shouldn't go much. His whole career, he's just been up and down guy, bullpen starter, ERA 4.5, 5. Yeah, I mean the full game over 8.5. Now there's a lot of 9s, but can the Cardinals hit? You just can't trust them. So I'm on the team total here, but I don't doubt you for wanting to take the D-backs first 5. I don't know about full game. Yeah, can they start winning on the road here? Maybe a little bit more regularly. I'm not so sure, but I'm definitely on the team total over.
All right. Yeah. And by the way, the Cardinals' last 10 games, 202 batting average, 2.8 runs per game against righties. And of course, they're facing one here in Jake Faria. And look, also another thing I'll point out, some of these pitchers that have shut down St. Louis, Kranick yesterday, freaking Chad Kuhl, fucking, I mean, all of these guys that have shut them down. I mean, it's just been unbelievable. Some of these terrible pitchers that have shut them down of late. Chad Kuhl and Max Kranick shut this lineup down, shut him down completely. And that's what we're dealing with, right now. It's not like these are ace pitchers that are getting the better of the St. Louis team right now. So it's concerning for this group, what we're seeing from their offense. What do you think here, Skee, Arizona, St. Louis?
Connor said he won't fault you for liking the D-backs, but I think I have to. Diamondbacks, they've only won one of the last 27 road games. I don't want to get on that. What makes you think that they're going to win a game here? So if you like the Diamondbacks, I probably would focus more on the team total. I know they hit lefties pretty well, and but the thing is, I mean, LeBlanc, I know he played for the Pirates. Who else did he play for? He played for a couple teams, right? And
Seattle, San Diego.
Yep. Yeah, every time I see him versus the Diamondbacks, even though he's a lefty, I feel like they don't hit him. And if you go back and look up the numbers, I'm sure it will support it. And looking at Faria, I mean, he got smacked the last time he faced the Cardinals. He went 1 inning, gave up 4 runs. So I would expect him to get smacked again. I mean, I think you can look at a run in the first inning prop. I don't usually bet a lot of those, but I like it here in this game. And, sometimes these guys don't go very far in the game. I would kind of have to know who's coming in after them to look towards overs. But I agree with what you said, Ian. Cardinals haven't really been hitting. They're batting 198 the last 20 days. Doesn't give me a lot of confidence. Like, I really think that they can hit Faria, but the way that they've been batting lately is terrible. So I lean Cardinals first 5 still. I know I'd have to lay the half a run, which I would need them to hit something. So it makes me nervous, but that's the way that I lean in this game. And other than that, I would probably bet a run to be scored in the first inning. I don't really trust Faria.
Yeah, that's exactly I like Arizona a little bit first 5 in money line, but a full game money line. But I like the team total over more because of what you just said too. I mean, Faria is just one of those guys. It's a real wild card tonight. We really don't know what we're going to get. And plus, St. Louis is, but at the same time, St. Louis ain't hitting. So if there's one game maybe for Faria can pitch well, it's tonight. So that's why it's a big time, wonder, what he's going to do and how he's going to perform tonight. So the team total to me is better if you like Arizona tonight. And yeah, this Cardinals lineup should be better than they are. I mean, you got Paul Goldschmidt, Nolan Arenado in it, Yadi Molina, and he's been struggling lately. I like my Canadian buddy Tyler O'Neill, but he strikes out a lot. He does have a lot of power though. Big time for sure. Paul DeYoung's been in the tank. This guy's batting 8th in the lineup now. He can't hit right now for this St. Louis team, but they got a lot of guys that just aren't hitting it well. Even Goldschmidt's been pretty subdued lately. So that's the problem right now with St. Louis. They're just this is a lineup that probably should be better than it is, but right now it ain't. San Francisco, before we get to it, it's the last game. It's the only West Coast game tonight, 7th inning stretch time. Our chance to acknowledge the chat. And everybody joining us here for this Monday edition of the show: Leroy Flood, Joseph Gomez, Brian Watson, Cash Action Bets, Kyle Hintley, and Jeff Wortman, Matty Ice. Hey, there he is, Matt Randall, Mr. Taint Play of the Day in the chat. Good to see you. Cheshire Cat, Billy Pilgrim. We've got Groovy Caps, Joseph Gomez. I think I said him already. Jason Falk, Luke Murphy, Nucky Green, North Ender, Jonathan Thompson, Uncool 22. Thanks to everyone in the chat for joining us. We appreciate that on this Monday edition of the show. Robert Cherry as well, Raymond Reddington, Anthony Ambronio, Leroy Flood, Johnny K, everybody in the chat. We appreciate you guys joining us. Let's get to our final game. San Francisco Giants, Los Angeles Dodgers. We've got the Dodgers here minus 180 to minus 190 home favorites. The total 8 pretty much across the board, although the total's been bet up a bit, 7.5 to 8. Weather conditions in LA tonight, wind blowing straight out to center. Not a big wind though, so I don't know if they're reacting to that, but maybe they think DeSclafani is going to regress. That could be the case, but the one thing that does concern me is, look, DeSclafani, we've talked about him. He has had a really remarkable season for the San Francisco Giants, and this Giants team has had a really good season as a whole overall. I mean, they've just played great ball. They've shown no sign of falling apart. I know people are saying they're not going to keep this up. This is not sustainable, what San Francisco is doing, but so far so good for them. But DeSclafani, his last 3 starts has been dominant. 0.43 ERA. Giants won all 3 of those starts. They're 11-4 with him on the mound. He has a 2.77 ERA overall, a 1.84 ERA on the road. But here's the issue. The one bad start he had all year against this Dodgers team, and it was about as bad as it could be. 10 runs, 9 hits, 2.2 innings. So what will it be? Will it be a repeat of that outing, or will it be the DeSclafani we've seen the rest of the season where he's been lights out for the San Francisco Giants? That's the big question. He did pitch better the second time around against the Dodgers, but still labored. 2 runs, 5 hits, only lasted 4.2 innings, walked 4 guys. So he really hasn't pitched all that great against the Dodgers. Hasn't pitched deep, hasn't pitched well, and both games did go over the total. On the flip side for the Dodgers, Bauer, again, a little bit of a spin rate guy, so that does concern you. And it does concern you that in his 4 of his last 5 starts, he's given up 4, 3, 6, 3. He's given up some home runs. He's given up 7 home runs in his last 5 starts. In fact, he's given up 9 home runs in his last 6 starts. So the home run ball has really victimized Trevor Bauer for the Dodgers in recent games. So you factor in that the wind's blowing out a bit. Yeah, I'm starting to see why people saw the total at 7.5 and have bet some over here up to 8. It's hard to do that with DeSclafani's current form, but unfortunately against the Dodgers, they were by far his 2 worst starts of the season. So it doesn't really give me a boatload of confidence that he can for sure pitch well tonight when he struggled so much against the Dodgers earlier this season. I guess I would lean over the total with this market move here that has pushed this total up from 7.5 to 8. As far as the side goes, look, I could only look Giants at this price, to be honest with you. I mean, they haven't shown yet an ability to, people are just saying the Giants can't do this all season. They're going to fade. They're going to fade. Dodgers and Padres are going to catch them. People are saying this is a big series for the Dodgers. Yeah, it's big for the Giants. You don't want to give up ground this early in the season with still, a whole half of the second season to go. And Dodgers, trying to track down San Francisco. So I would lean Giants here at this big number, first 5 in full game, and also over the total in this one. And look, San Francisco, I think, has been hitting well, and their pitching and their bullpen has actually not been as sharp lately either. So I think we could potentially see some runs tonight. Connor, what do you think here? It's a big series starting tonight, Giants and Dodgers.
Yeah, and you could tell the Giants yesterday sat all their best players, kind of gearing up. They won the first 2 against Oakland, sat them yesterday. So it's not only big for the Dodgers. The Giants are gearing up for this. Always a huge series. Yeah, the value's with the Giants. But it's just DeSclafani. The guy's been lights out all year, 8-2, and his 2, especially the one time he got hit extremely hard by the Dodgers, and they got great numbers in against him. But I could only look Giants value-wise. And Bauer, you talked about him giving up a bunch of runs lately. He's the ultimate spin guy, the number 1 on the list. So, and his thing is the long ball. So wind blowing out, you mentioned a little bit. I don't blame that it's now moved to 8. I think we can see some homers from both sides here tonight at Dodger Stadium. Because normally, night game, Dodger Stadium, I look under. But this could be a game with 2 pitchers that give with the long ball that you could lean over a little bit. But, yeah, I think that the value's with the Giants here, first 5 or full game.
Yeah, it's a fascinating thing to be looking at here with DeSclafani going into the start because he's clearly had a terrific season. And yet, by far, it's not even close. By far, his 2 worst starts all season long were against this Dodgers team. Like, it's not even close. Those starts were clearly much worse than every other start he's had this year, those 2 starts that he had against the Dodgers. So it's a fascinating game to approach based on that. Skee, what do you think here, Giants, Dodgers?
Yeah, I'm a believer in Desclafani. And his last 21 innings pitch, he gave up 2 runs. And we talked about that sticky stuff. I know a guy who needs it in this game. It's Trevor Bauer. I faded him last game. I think I'll continually look to fade him. I just don't think he's pitching as good, and he won't until he's able to use it again. So he's been openly like complaining about it, like saying, I don't know. He's just somebody who sounds like that's what he needs or he's not going to be good.
He needs it.
So, and you guys know I'm a Dodger fan, so hey, I like the Giants. I like the Giants. It's no way that I'm looking to back Bauer anytime soon until he shows me he can pitch without it. So, plus price, best team in the league, right? As far as record wise, I would take the Giants. I don't see why you don't.
Yep. Yeah. Not nearly as good on the road, the Giants. Like they've been amazing at home, but still they've been decent enough on the road. And you're getting a great price with them anyway. And you're getting a great price with a pitcher that, as you mentioned, two runs allowed in his last 21 innings. Is that the DeSclafani we're going to see tonight, or is it the one that got absolutely trashed and thrashed by the Dodgers in 2 games this year? That's the question. But again, the Dodgers lineup's not been at their best the last week or so. Like they haven't had a great week with their lineup, in my opinion. San Diego series, they didn't hit as good as they could have. Same with the Cubs series. Like they let Alec Mills off the hook on Saturday night. That was ridiculous. They had
they had 1 inning
open,
yesterday. That was it. It was that big inning. And it was
a good comment here by Matty Ice. You know, we trust what he says. He says 2.08 ERA, 1.15 whip, Bauer's last 2 games. He says that's pretty good with no sticky icky. I trust what Matty Ice says, so maybe I'll think twice about it. But I did also want to mention
he did look better, his last couple starts, Bauer.
Looking at Dodgers versus 55% win teams are better, only 16-14. Giants versus those better teams, 16-9. So another reason I like the Giants. Yeah,
that's why people are saying the Giants are falling apart. Wait till their schedule gets tougher. Well, you just said it, 16-9. Against those teams with really good winning records. So the Giants have shown the ability to play with these guys. So, Giants to me are the value side. And we'll just have to wait and see how Bauer goes, because there are still some questions how he's going to pitch moving forward with this whole crackdown situation going on across Major League Baseball. Great stuff, Connor, and great stuff from our Monday special guest, Skee Profit, as well. We'll get to best bets. We'll get to Jack of the Day in just a second. But first, we'll pause for messages from Manscaped and Southtown 101. All right, Southtown 101, San Antonio, Texas. Check them out when you're in town. Great food, great drinks, live music, DJs, karaoke as well. Southtown 101 in San Antonio. Manscaped, promo code PubSports, 20% off your purchase. And again, the Lawnmower 4.0 is now available. You can get 20% off that and any purchase you make from Manscaped. Using the promo code PubSports. MyBookie.ag, promo code PubSports, NHL, NBA playoffs, MLB daily. Still going on. Football season right around the corner. No better time to get an account with mybookie.ag than right now. And you can use Bitcoin for your accepted currency for your deposit if you have it. Mybookie.ag, promo code PubSports. All right, it is that time now. Let's get our home run hats on. Time for Jack of the Day.
Well, see you later.
Jack of the Day here today. There's definitely 2 that stand out from the Twins, Cruz and Kepler. I mentioned them earlier in the show. Makes sense to go with those 2 guys. I think they can do some damage here against Giolito, because they certainly have been able to do that in the past. Altuve has a home run against Eshelman. I think he's probably worth a look as well in the home run prop category. And we'll go with J.D. Martinez against Danny Duffy as well, who I'm worried about the rhythm being thrown off for him going into this start. So I think he'll have success. And let's go with All Rise as well. Aaron Judge, who has 3 bombs in the past against Dylan Bundy. So there you go. There's my Jack of the Day candidates there. A nice little plethora of options. Connor, what do you think for Jack of the Day?
Yeah, I was looking at Nelson Cruz and Kepler, obviously those jacks off Giolito. And that was about it. The Yankee you mentioned. Maybe a couple of Dodgers. Max Muncy's 8 for 2 with a jack. Gavin Lux 2 for 6 with a homer. But that was it for Jack of the Day.
Can I ask you guys a question? I
Yep.
don't have a Jack of the Day because, I mean, you guys are a lot better at it than me as far as picking player props here. But like in baseball, when you're looking for these guys to hit a home run, is it more like you're looking for guys who have been hot lately or guys who hit a home run lately? Or are you looking at players who hit historically good against a certain pitcher, or is it both?
Both.
Ultimately, the best for me is both, that they have the good form, that they've hit some home runs lately, and that they've had great success against that pitcher. They've got to have the success against the pitcher. I've got to see some kind of, most times, unless they're absolutely rolling right now, like a Vlad Guerrero was just crushing it for a while. And actually, you could probably still bet him every night and still get a good profit, for the
guys
Tatis
like that, yeah.
as well right now. Guys like that, Guerrero for the Blue Jays, Tatis for the Padres. But most of the time, they've got to have the good numbers against that particular starting pitcher. And I prefer them also being in good form in terms of they've hit some home runs lately. So a combination of both. But I like to have them in good form. Certainly good, too, to have the numbers against the starting pitcher that they've hit him. So that's basically what we look for when it comes to home run props. Skee, will stay right with you here. What do you like here for best bet?
Yeah, there's a few things I like on this card, but best bet wise, I think if I say his name wrong, forgive me, but Faria, I just, the last time he was out versus the Cardinals, I know they haven't been hitting lately, but they hit him for 4 in 1 inning. And LeBlanc, he probably just goes a short time too. So I like run in first inning. Yes, -115 in that game.
All right, there you go. First run inning prop there for or first inning run prop, I should say, for Skee Profit there. There will be a run in the first inning. You can get those props at mostly every book now these days. -110, best bet here for Skee Profit. Conor Mac, what do you like for best bet?
I'm gonna go if you try to find a 4, but if not, I still think even all right at 3.5. I'm going Cubs Brewers with those two pitchers under 3.5. At even money here. I think we see no runs early. Hendricks has been great, and Peralta's been really good at home. So give me the first 5 under 3.5.
All right, first 5 under 3.5 for Conor Mac with the Cubs and the Brewers here in this one. Best bet for me, I'm going back and forth between the 2 team totals that I like tonight. Houston and Arizona. I like them both. I'm thinking of best bet. I'm going to do 2 best bets tonight. Both of them are going to be best bets. We're going to go Houston Astros, team total over 5.5, -125, and Arizona Diamondbacks. We've cashed 2 team totals with them over the weekend against San Diego. They were 2.5 in those games. They're 3.5 here, but I still think they get to 4 runs. They smash lefties. They're starting to hit better. I don't trust Wade LeBlanc, and even the Cardinal bullpen behind LeBlanc has not been as good lately either. So Arizona team total over 3.5, -125, as well as Houston team total over 5.5, -125. So 2 best bets today, both of them team totals. Let's get it. It was a best bet sweep for me over the weekend on this show. So let's keep it rolling with our MLB best bets right here on the Closing Time Show. All right, that'll wrap it up. Thanks to everyone in the chat for joining us. We appreciate it. The 3 of us will be back with you later this afternoon, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, and we'll preview Game 5. Could it be the end for the LA Clippers taking on the Phoenix Suns in Game 5 of the Western Conference Final? And we'll also look back at a come-from-behind win for the Bucks last night in Game 3 against the Atlanta Hawks. So we'll talk about all of that on the NBA Pub Hub later this afternoon, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, right here on Pub Sports Radio. For Conor Mac and Skee Profit, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Monday afternoon. We'll see you a little bit later for the NBA Pub Hub right here on Pub Sports Radio.